So your Brantford-bound son is trying to open a board game store, Father. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, there's a famous song way back in the day that comes to mind. It starts out with the word crazy.
Oh, jeez.
You know, this is kind of appropriate. This was kind of like what our week was. Just trying desperately to wade through the mud. It was a very long and very hard week for the boys over at DB. But we got through it, you know? I don't know if this little Jeep is going to get through it, but we got through it. So now we are off to Lowe's again. They're going to know me by first name after this is all said and done, to try to find some light bulbs and some starters, apparently they're called, hello guy, for our fridge, because our fridge is currently in dire need of illumination. So we're gonna go try that. What happened this week? My brother and my dad came down, which was great. We prettied up one of the windows, one of the front windows, which had these two big ugly 2x4 struts that's hanging up the front TV you'll see when you're going down Colburn Street. Going down 436 Colburn Street east to the Devil's Bench, maybe this Saturday for our grand opening.
It'd be nice to get rid of this mess here.
What are we attempting to do, Father?
Hide this mess.
Hide the mess.
So we cleaned up the window, which looks great, which I'm sure you'll see on grand opening. We also brought a projector from Kijiji, which it's not going to be ready for the opening, just because we're not too sure what we want to do with it yet. We don't know where we want to set it up. We don't know what we want to put on the projector, but it's there. And, you know, it's about those little future things that keep Devil's Bench going forward, even if it's through the mud. So, here we are again. It's we're getting closer and closer to the date of opening, which is great. We meet with our distributor tomorrow to get our first set of names, which is excellent, so we can start filling our shelves. We got a couple of things to button up, but things are coming along quite smoothly. You know, it's a daunting amount of work, but anyone who's thinking or is pondering about opening their own business, from my experience, what I can tell you is to forget everything anyone said about not working with your friends. That is the biggest lie I've ever come across. Now, to put that with a bit of a warning, make sure, you know, they're your bosom buddies. Make sure they're good, solid friends. You know, because I can see how a fly-by-night friend, you know, you get into business with them, and there's no back and forth, there's no, I'll do this job, you do that job. It's just one guy carrying the whole load. Kind of like back in high school where you had to do group assignments and you were the only one doing any of the work. That's not how it works when you get the right friends, when you get the right team. There doesn't seem to be any mountain we can't climb right now, you know, as a team. We're there for each other, we can read each other's thoughts at this point. You can tell, you know, when someone walks in the door just by the look on their face, if it's kind of like a joking day or if it's time to get down to work. And you need that to open a business. Especially today when there's so much red tape, there's so much he said, she said, there's so many I's to dot and T's to cross and hoops to jump through. It's good to have a good solid core you can always run back to and share some of the load, share some of the burden. Might seem silly, but I'm really looking forward to decorating the washrooms. And our decorations for the washrooms come in on, I think it's this Monday I go to pick them up. I just want the whole place, you know, whether it be when you first walk in to when you walk out and everything in between, to be a reflection of, you know, me, Bill, and Jeffrey. And if that means nerding up the washrooms, then that means nerding up the washrooms, as silly as it sounds. I am going to get stuck in this mud. Come on, little Jeep, you can do it.
My brother and dad coming down knocked it out of the park, right? We got a lot of the stuff I wanted to get done. The only thing that prevented us from getting it all done was the crappy weather. It was raining yesterday, it was really cold and crappy, so I didn't want to put them outside for too long, you know. I know they wouldn't have minded, and they didn't mind, but I minded. So what do you think of all this, man?
I think it's really cool. It's a nice building, crazy location. I like the rusticness of the area. I've seen a lot of businesses like this. Toronto, one just opened in the Falls. They all seem to be doing good. So, good luck!
Right on. So if there's like one thing in there that you could add or change, what would it be? Bigger comic selection?
No, because that comes with time, right? The things that I would change are actual structural things of the building. I like the door design that houses the TV, but I think it could be more aesthetically pleasing. Some of the conduit running around the place, but that's not you guys. That's the building. If I don't know, I really don't know what to say. It's I want to see people in the place, because you're not gonna get a real feel of how it all flows till you have like 10 people plus yourselves in the room. So I don't know. I think it could be cool. I think it could be really, really cool. Now I'm gonna light up on camera.
Oh, come on, there you go. Come on, buddy, come on. There you go, okay. So we got our first shipment in, which was awesome. Oh, you can make it. I know, it's tough. We got about 100 games, a little over 100 on our shelves, and we go to pick up more on Monday. It was a really speedy service. You know, my hat's off to the guys over at Lion Rampart Studios, right here in Brantford. That's where we picked up our shipment, and that's where I'm going to pick up my truck. You know, we were in and out in maybe half an hour. Uh-oh. There we go. We went in, we paid for it, we picked it up, and that was that. You're all done.
So let's see what we got on our first shipment, guys. And this is just the first shipment. We're going to pick up some more on Monday. Isn't that right, Jeff?
That's right.
So we got some crazy game called Yomi, which apparently is like Magic the Gathering, but for fighters. So kind of like if Magic the Gathering and Street Fighter had a baby, and that baby went out and fought a bunch of people, you'd have Yomi. Chaos of the Old World, we got a bunch of Hobbit games. We got Feed the Woozle. Feed the Woozle, Jeff.
That's the best game.
You know, Jeff finally said some stuff on camera, which I don't even think he was expecting. Get over there. I just kind of slapped down the camera in front of him and said, Jeff, give me content for the dev blog. Finally be on the dev blog, Jeff. And to his credit, he mumbled for quite a bit.
So, I'm Jeff from the Devil's Bench. You haven't seen me too much on these vlogs. I'm more of a background type of guy. I do a lot of bookkeeping, accounting. I'm also going to be running Magic the Gathering Thursdays and Friday nights. Thursdays we're doing Modern, and Friday nights we're doing Draft, probably starting around 6 p.m. We've got to work all that stuff out. I'm also going to be running Dungeons and Dragons on Wednesdays, probably Wednesday nights. So I'm pretty excited with that. Okay, Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to be running 5th edition. 5th edition, but at like 85%. So what I mean by that is there are certain aspects of 5th edition that I'm going to be tweaking to fit the Devil's Bench and the official.
Hey, Bill's coming with a coffee run. Should I tell him just drink this or?
Yeah. Just drink. There's 8 cups in there. So
there's 8 cups of coffee here that Jeff is brewing. All right, take it. Sorry.
That's okay. Dungeons and Dragons.
So, you want to know how easy it is to be a lumberjack? Check this out. Shazam! See, I don't know what all the big fuss is. They just load up their trucks and go. Anyways, the big bummer part about this week came in the form of a janky security alarm that just, whenever it felt like, would, I am going to tip over immediately. Whenever it felt like, it would just prattle off into the night. Me, Jeff, and Bill all got called out multiple times last night from like 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock. 3, 4, maybe 5 times to go turn it off manually. And that was a bummer. Because you never know what's going to go on, right? And you're the only one down there, and you're like searching through a basement. You don't know what's going to go on when you walk into a place where the alarm's going off. Obviously something set off the alarm, and you have like a flashlight and a hammer, and you're going downstairs to this old rickety basement. Not a lot of fun. Not my idea of fun anyways. But once again, you know, we got through it. Oh, look out, tree, jeez. We got through it, and we're gonna keep on getting through stuff because we have a good core group of people, me, Jeff, and Bill, that are ready to take on this task.
Another thing I can recommend is to stay hungry. And the easiest way you can stay hungry, not physically, obviously you gotta feed yourself. The easiest way to stay hungry is to surround yourself with positive vibes. And as like bullshit hippie as that sounds, it's what you have to do. I can see how easy it would be to burn out opening your own place. Like I said, a lot of hoops to jump through that I don't like jumping through them. I'm sure you don't either. A lot of bylaws, a lot of asking for permission for just silly little stuff. But you got to keep that positive vibe. As soon as somebody comes into your life where they start asking like, well, how are you going to do this? How are you gonna, I don't think that'll work. You really think you should be charging that much because the place down the street charges this much? Get rid of them. Stop that line of communication. You got to keep positive. Those are my big 2 pieces of advice. Also, if you get a guy who's already an accountant that's worked for the Canadian military as an accountant for a couple of years, that helps too.
I seem to have found myself in quite the predicament here. I can't seem to get out of this puddle. I would just call it a puddle. I don't know what you would call it. Oh my goodness. So the last bit of information is Saturday, if everything goes according to plan, is our grand opening. And I can't wait. Everything's coming together. We're waiting on just a few more things. One of the things being getting out of this puddle. And then we can finally open the doors and, you know, start living the dream. And I hope to live this dream, as corny as it sounds, with you. See you there.